Good morning, America. The Toronto Raptors beat the Warriors, win their first NBA championship ever.
Breaking overnight, the Raptors roar past the Warriors.
We the North are now we the champions.
Knocking them off in a down-to-the-wire battle, Golden State's Klay Thompson goes down with a brutal injury. Steph Curry, the rest of the defending champs, unable to come back with one more miracle. The heroes, the heartbreak, an entire city erupts in celebration, and what those new champions are saying about the incredible win, only on GMA.
Also this morning, the ABC News exclusive. President Trump making more headlines in that interview with George. What he's saying now about those claims he tried to fire Robert Mueller. This as the White House braces for a shakeup with news that Sarah Sanders is stepping down.
Iran showdown. Overnight, U.S. officials releasing this new video saying it proves Iran was behind those new attacks on 2 oil tankers.
Breaking overnight, 3 new suspects arrested in the shooting of David Ortiz as Big Papi's wife now speaks out.
And show me the evidence. Oscar-winning actor Cuba Gooding Jr. now charged with groping a woman in a New York bar. The new surveillance video just released as the star fights the allegations.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
And good morning, America, or should I say good morning, Canada. They are celebrating there today. The Toronto Raptors win their first ever NBA championship.
It was, I will say this as a Warriors fan, an amazing series. And take a look at the celebrations overnight. The players wearing their champagne goggles, popping those bottles, and thousands gathered there in Jurassic Park to deservedly cheer on their team.
It was very gracious of you, Cecilia.
I'm trying.
Especially since you sit next to me because you lost a bet that she had to pay up now. And of course, superfan Drake, he was out in full force. And it looks like the Drake curse is over. I'm sure he'll put that in a song somewhere. The game came down to the final seconds. ABC's TJ Holmes was there for it all at that final game ever played in Oracle Arena. And he's joining us now from Oakland. Good morning, TJ.
Good morning to you all, and it's hard to describe just how intense of an atmosphere it was here at Oracle Arena last night. They knew this was it, the last time to see these Warriors play here, and these Warriors were highly motivated to make sure they sent this place off in style. But instead, oh, Canada.
We the North are now we the champions.
Heartbreak and history, all in one thrilling night at Oracle Arena that saw the Toronto Raptors win their first NBA title and another Warriors star go down with a devastating injury. The Toronto Raptors are now the first team based in Canada to win an NBA title.
Toronto, Canada, we brought it home, baby. We brought it home.
Toronto was facing a wounded but motivated Warriors team, playing its last game in Oracle Arena and first game since Kevin Durant ruptured his Achilles. Raptors guard Kyle Lowry started hot, scoring their first 11 points. Klay Thompson shot the Warriors into contention and scored 30, but it was this play in the third quarter that sucked the air out of Oracle Arena. Thompson came down and immediately grabbed his knee. A torn ACL. They'd have to play the rest of the game without him. The teams went back and forth down the stretch, and with seconds left, Steph Curry had this shot to possibly win it, but missed. Coach Kerr shared a smile with his superstar. They knew it was over. Jurassic Park in Toronto knew it too. They erupted knowing their 25-year championship wait was over. We caught up with Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard afterwards, champagne soaked and still with hardware in hand.
It's amazing to bring them back something special like this and making history for the first time. I learned from my past experience of just enjoying the moment and, you know, if I do win, make sure I enjoy it.
And a very happy Drake celebrating the win. Even FaceTiming with his one-time rival, Steph Curry.
Tough one. I hate seeing it. Enjoy it, man. It's big time for you, the whole city, the whole everybody. Y'all deserve it, man. Congrats.
And get this, the road team won the past 5 games in this series. That is the first time that's ever happened in the history of the NBA Finals, the road team winning that much. But again, guys, this was game number 2070 at Oracle Arena, and the last one, and the lasting final impression and image is going to be of another team winning a championship. But still, these fans here in Oakland are certainly supporting the team and very appreciative of the run they've had here for 47 years.
It has been some
Yeah,
run.
and they should be very proud. Great team, great season, and also, you know, give it up to Toronto Raptors.
played great.
Kawhi Leonard going up there and
Congratulations.
bringing them a
Great
championship.
finish for them. We're going to move on now to a brand new excerpt of my exclusive interview with President Trump. The president refused to answer questions from Robert Mueller about his evidence of possible obstruction against the president. But Trump took them from me and took on Mueller's star witness, Don McGahn, strongly suggesting that the former White House counsel lied under oath.
More than 1,000 former prosecutors have concluded that President Trump obstructed justice in the Mueller investigation. And one of them, Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris, now says that she would have no choice but to pursue criminal charges against Trump when his term ends.
She's running for president. She's doing horribly. She's way down in the polls.
She says she would have
I must
no
say,
choice but to
Pocahontas
prosecute
is
you.
really cleaning her clock. And I heard she made that statement. And you know what? Who wouldn't? Probably if I were running in her position, I'd make the same statement. There was no crime. No special counsel should have ever been appointed. You know why? Because there was no crime. They had no, they had no evidence of crime.
He lays out a lot of evidence, including the episode where you ask your White House counsel, Don McGahn, you tell him Mueller has to go. You call him twice and say, Mueller has to go. Call me when it's done.
Don McGahn, the president's former White House counsel, named more times in the Mueller report than any other official. Mueller presented evidence of possible obstruction by President Trump when he pressured McGahn to get Mueller fired.
I was never going to fire Mueller. I never suggested firing Mueller.
That's not what he says.
Excuse, I don't care what he says. It doesn't matter. That was to show everyone what a good counsel he was.
Why would Don
But
McGahn
we had a
lie?
business.
Why would he lie under oath? Why would he lie
Because he
under oath
wanted to
Robert
make
Mueller?
himself look like a good lawyer, or he believed it because I would constantly tell anybody that would listen, including you, including the media, that Robert Mueller was conflicted. Robert Mueller had a total conflict
has to
of
go.
interest. I didn't say that.
But if you answer these questions to me now, why not answer them to Robert Mueller under oath?
Because they were looking to get us for lies, for slight misstatements. I looked at what happened to people, and it was very unfair. Very, very unfair. Very unfair. I gave them 1.5 million pages of documents, right? I gave them 400 or 500 witnesses. I let Don McGahn testify. I let him he was the White House counsel. I let him
But you
I knew
didn't
he was going
sit
to
for an
testify.
interview. You didn't answer questions on obstruction.
No, wait a minute. I did answer questions. I answered them in writing.
Not on
I don't know about those.
obstruction.
I don't know. I answered a lot of questions. They gave me questions. I answered them in writing.
Not on obstruction.
Look, George, you're being a little wise guy, okay? Which is, typical for you. Just so you understand. Very simple. It's very simple. There was no crime. There was no collusion.
The president does not like those questions on obstruction of justice about Robert Mueller. And for the record, he did not answer questions about obstruction of justice from Robert Mueller. This issue with Don McGahn is significant, Cecilia, as you know, because the president right now blocking his testimony to the Congress.
And Don McGahn was known for taking copious and very thorough notes during a lot of his meetings. So that is a witness that they were obviously very worried about. And for the record, you're not a little wise guy. You can see more of George's full interview with President Trump in a primetime special this Sunday at 8/7 Central right here on ABC. And this morning at the White House, we're seeing a major shakeup in the president's inner circle. Sarah Sanders announced that she's stepping down as press secretary. Her role in the administration, of course, not without controversy. Our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, has more on all this. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Cecilia. This is a big loss for the president. He is not just losing a press secretary, he is losing one of his most fiercely loyal and longest-serving advisors in the West Wing.
After nearly 2 years as White House press secretary, Sarah Sanders is moving on.
She's done an incredible job, but we've been through a lot together, and she's tough, but she's good.
Her press briefings were often contentious as she did battle with the White House press corps.
Bipartisan
But
support.
more recently, the briefings have all but disappeared. The last one more than 3 months ago. But while Sanders took a lower public profile, she also became one of the president's closest advisors, almost always by his side.
It's one of the greatest jobs I could ever have. I've loved every minute, even the hard minutes.
She was with President Trump during both of his summits with Kim Jong-un, a highly unusual, if not unprecedented, role for a White House press secretary. And just last week, she sat right next to Prince Charles at the dinner the president had at the U.S. ambassador's residence in London. Sanders was an unwavering defender of the president, though her credibility was sometimes called into question.
I asked you directly yesterday if the president had already decided to fire James Comey when he met with the Deputy Attorney General and Attorney General. And you said no. Now we learned from the president directly that he had already decided to fire James Comey. So why were so many people giving answers that just weren't correct?
I think it's pretty simple. I hadn't had a chance to have the conversation directly with the president.
Her public statements regarding the firing of former FBI Director Comey were brought under scrutiny in the Mueller report. When asked by the special counsel's office about her assertion that rank-and-file FBI agents lost confidence in Comey, Sanders said she made that comment, quote, in the heat of the moment, and it was not founded on anything. She was beloved by Trump's supporters and despised by his enemies, and parodied on Saturday Night Live.
Halloween's over, but I see some of you guys are still in your journalist costumes.
Sanders, who has 3 children under the age of 10, says that she will be going back to her home state of Arkansas. She also does not rule out a future in politics, perhaps even one day running for governor of Arkansas. George, Cecilia, Michael?
Interesting. You know, there's some speculation that they might not even replace her because she didn't fill the role of a traditional secretary after she stopped those briefings. She may not need another press secretary to replace her.
It's very possible. And John, meantime, John, the president has another top official under fire this morning. Kellyanne Conway, one of his top aides, under fire from a federal watchdog who says she broke the law.
This is the Office of Special Counsel. That is a very different office than Robert Mueller, a different federal agency that looks at whether or not federal employees are violating something called the Hatch Act, which says that you cannot do politics in your official capacity. And this agency says that she did that repeatedly and actually says that the president should fire her. George, that is not going to happen. The White House is strongly defending Kellyanne Conway, saying that she has done nothing wrong.
Yeah, got a letter from the White House counsel there, John Carl. Thanks very much, Michael.
All right, you guys, we're going to turn now to the latest on those rising tensions with Iran. U.S. officials are now publicly blaming Iran for those attacks on 2 oil tankers. And our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, is in Washington with more. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Michael. This morning, the U.S. is not only accusing Iran of involvement in the attacks, but providing compelling evidence they say helps prove it.
Overnight, the U.S. military's Central Command releasing this new surveillance video of what they say is an Iranian Revolutionary Guard patrol boat approaching one of the crippled ships and removing an unexploded mine, which could have provided further evidence as to who placed the mines that did explode. You can see the damage to the ship on the left from one of the mines that exploded.
These limpet mines are magnetic. They stick to the side of the metal hull of the ship. They're hand placed there.
And while the Iranians may have gotten hold of some of the evidence and deny any role in the attacks themselves, the Secretary of State says there is no doubt that Iran is responsible for the attacks.
This assessment is based on intelligence, the weapons used, the level of expertise needed to execute the operation, recent similar Iranian attacks on shipping, and the fact that no proxy group operating in the area has the resources and proficiency to act with such a high degree of sophistication.
The attacks came just 45 minutes apart near the coast of Iran, and the damage was extensive to one of the tankers, smoke billowing hundreds of feet in the air. This morning, the crew of that ship remains in Iran. The other crew that had been aboard the USS Bainbridge now returned to their tanker, which sustained less damage.
The question is, what happens next in this standoff with Iran? The U.S. made clear this morning that they will defend U.S. assets and assure safe passage in the waterways in the region, but also making clear that war would not be in anyone's best interest. George?
Trying to keep a lid on the tension. Okay, Martha, thanks very much. We're going to move on now to that severe weather across the east. Tornado was spotted in New Jersey, and this morning, Oklahoma City facing a flash flooding alert. Rob Marciano here with the latest. Good morning, Rob.
Hey, good morning, Georgia. It was this time yesterday that Philadelphia was getting hammered with that heavy rain. A bit of a break, then a strong line of storms coming through. This just east of Philadelphia and southern New Jersey. Winona, New Jersey, see that funnel cloud touching down. Another view, the next town over, Mullica Hill. The deck furniture, the clubhouse there, and all around the pool flying with that surveillance video camera. One of dozens of storm-related damage reports yesterday. Where we're going to see the threat today as this front kind of lays its way down across the Great Lakes through the Midwest, back through the high plains as well. Garden City, Amarillo today, Wichita, Kansas City, Des Moines tomorrow, maybe even a little farther east. For Father's Day Sunday, strong winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes. And there's going to be some heavy rain with this. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Cecilia?
Busy weekend for you, Rob. Okay, thanks. We're going to turn now to new developments in the David Ortiz shooting. Overnight, more suspects taken into custody as Big Papi's wife speaks out, thanking everyone who helped to save his life. ABC's Gio Benitez is here with all the latest. Hey, Gio.
Hey, Cecilia. Good morning. Yeah, overnight we learned 3 more men were arrested in the Dominican Republic, and all 3 will be charged with attempted murder and criminal association. This as some of the other suspects are taken to court. 5 of the 6 men accused in the alleged ambush of former Red Sox slugger David Ortiz were led into a Dominican Republic courtroom for their first appearance. Investigators in the DR say the suspects were offered nearly $8,000 to target the Red Sox legend. Some of the suspects have possible connections to the U.S. Prosecutors in New Jersey saying 25-year-old Rolfi Ferreira Cruz, the alleged shooter, was listed as a robbery suspect in the Garden State last year. And authorities saying Luis Alfredo Rivas, also known as the surgeon, who is still at large, was wanted in Pennsylvania for conspiracy to commit attempted homicide. This as Ortiz recovers in a Boston hospital. His wife saying in a statement, David remains in guarded condition in the surgical intensive care unit following his second surgery. He continues to heal and make progress. Surveillance video shows the moment Ortiz was shot. The shooter in the baseball cap walks right up to him and fires into Ortiz's back. The man who says he took Ortiz to the hospital in the chaotic moments after the shooting, speaking with ABC News overnight.
Yo le dije, oh, el hombre, papi.
The man says Ortiz gave him his hand, he got him in a car, and got the baseball star to safety. And this morning, we know prosecutors have asked for the suspects to be held in jail for up to a year while this investigation into the shooting continues. This is far from over.
Far from over. Do they have any idea what the motive was?
You know what, Michael? Right now, that is very much a focus of this investigation, especially when we know that they were paid nearly $8,000 for this.
Yeah. All right, Gio. A lot of questions to be answered.
A lot more coming up this morning, including, take a look at this, some brand new surveillance video. Apparently shows Cuba Gooding Jr. and his accuser the night she claims he groped her. And now the actor is facing charges. We're going to have the latest on that.
Also, new images this morning of Amanda Knox as she returns to Italy. She's on a mission after being acquitted of murder there.
And an exclusive with the hiker who survived nearly a week lost in the woods. Now he's sharing his secret to staying alive. But first, go back to Rob.
Hey, Michael, look at the video coming out of Chatham, Massachusetts. Cape Cod, over an inch of rain there. Flooding rains yesterday. Better beach weather coming this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday for the East Coast, but the rains will be across parts of the Midwest. Your local forecast is 30 seconds away, but time for your weekend getaways brought to you by Capital One.
Hi, I'm Christina Stumble, and I founded Farm Girl Flowers. What started at my dining room table has grown into a serious operation. That's why I chose the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. With unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy, why wouldn't I get this card? I redeemed $115,000 in cash back in just 1 year, which doubled our marketing budget last summer. And I saw 69% growth year over year. My Spark Card is more than a credit card. It's actually helped me grow my business. What's in your wallet?
An amazing day to be out. It's going to feel quite refreshing. Low 60s here this morning for the kids. Recess time. Hopefully they can stay out a little longer. 71 and then 78 degrees at drop-off time. Low humidity also tomorrow with that high of 85. A little June-style heat. And then we're back to summer on Sunday. Close to 90 degrees with an isolated chance of seeing a shower or storm. Higher heat continues through the early part of next week.
Father's Day weekend coming up. Maybe you want to go out and check out some moose, right?
As one does.
As one does. Moose on, look at this video at Red Lodge, Montana. Moose on a loose. Juvenile there, just out for a morning stroll. Should be nice weather across parts of the Northern Rockies.
Little workout.
Is that on your list this weekend, Michael?
Yeah, signed up.
Happy early Father's Day to all of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also ahead, our party in the park this morning with Ellie Goulding. She's performing live.
Oh, they're excited.
They're already out there. They're going.
If you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, every day can begin with flakes. It's a reminder of your struggles with psoriasis. But what if your psoriasis